Earth, our home, but not only ours. Over 70% of Earth's surface is covered by oceans. These vast landscapes of deep blue house well over half of all life on the planet. From phytoplankton to coral reefs, from small fish to whales, in the ocean dwells such a diverse variety of marine life and their unique ecosystems. These marine ecosystems have coexisted with terrestrial ecosystems for millions of years in perfect harmony, each playing a critical role in maintaining the equilibrium of each other, a seamless and perfect cycle. That is, until humans disrupted this balance. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, humans have been responsible for rapidly increasing levels of pollution. This doesn't just affect our land and atmosphere, but also our oceans. The impact of pollution on our oceans is often overlooked. After all, it's not our domain, and what goes on beneath the surface is left a mystery. With this, two important questions arise. How is pollution affecting our oceans, and what can be done to fight against it? Every year, a staggering 9 billion tons of carbon dioxide are being emitted into the atmosphere. Our oceans have absorbed approximately 50% of these emissions since they were introduced in the 18th century. That is approximately 500 billion tons of CO2. What is this doing to our oceans? Carbon dioxide combines with water to form carbonic acid. Consequently, the ocean's acidity has increased by 30%, and by the year 2300, the pH levels are estimated to fall by 0.67 units. This ocean acidification damages the ability of marine species such as sea urchins and corals to produce calcium carbonate skeletons. This is evident in the mass amounts of coral reefs that have been dying throughout the world. Ocean acidification has also decreased the population of phytoplankton, a critical organism at the bottom of the marine food chain, by over 20%. Any changes in its population will significantly impact the marine life that feeds on it. Lastly, it also leads to the death of a large portion of marine life due to internal organ damage. It may take hundreds to thousands of years for the ocean's acidity to return back to its natural levels that supported the bountiful quantities of marine life for millions of years. Toxic substances such as pesticides and heavy metals are released into the oceans through industrial, agricultural, and sewage runoffs, as well as through deliberate dumping of waste into the oceans. These cause disease, genetic mutations, reproductive difficulties, behavioral changes, and even death in many marine organisms. These chemicals cannot be digested and therefore accumulate in marine life when consumed, traveling up through the food chain. This is referred to as biomagnification. The United States Environmental Protection Agency recommends that pregnant women and young children should not consume any swordfish, shark, king mackerel, or tilefish because of their high mercury content. The most severe and harmful pollutant to oceans is plastic. The main sources of plastics in the oceans are littering and drainage runoff. It was estimated by the University of Georgia that between 5.3 and 14 million tons of plastics end up in the oceans each year from coastal areas alone. In total, the ocean contains approximately 150 million tons of plastic. Marine animals are being snared and sometimes strangled by plastic rings and nets. They're also consuming plastics, which often blocks their digestive tracts, leading to their death. Plastics can take hundreds of years to decompose in the ocean. Even when they start decomposing, they first break down into tiny particles of plastic referred to as microplastics. Some beaches have up to 15% of the sand composed of microplastics. Fish unknowingly swallow these particles, and the buildup causes the toxic chemicals in the plastics to be absorbed into the fish. This is harmful to the fish and any organisms that consume that fish, even us. Now, what can we do to help fight against ocean pollution? Everyone needs to do their part for there to be a dramatic reversal of the impact that pollution has had on the oceans. To reduce carbon dioxide emissions, carpool with people heading to the same destination, or even ride a bike whenever possible instead of driving. You can also use more energy-efficient products. To lower the amount of toxic substances in the oceans, use less harmful chemical-based products, and when used, ensure proper and safe disposal is followed. To decrease the amount of plastics accumulated in the ocean, use less disposable plastic products and buy more reusable ones. But most importantly, always recycle whenever appropriate. Also, many organizations exist that are devoted to the preservation and restoration of the oceans. These can be supported and donations can be made in order to aid them in their cause. One of the most effective organizations for this today is 4Ocean. They are devoted to removing trash from our oceans and to date have removed over 2 million pounds of it. Every purchase from them leads to the funding of waste removal from our oceans. We must act now and together to restore our oceans to their beautiful, diverse, and natural states.